Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I gotta say, man, I saw this clip on Mopar Insiders. I cannot believe this crap. I mean, what in the world is going on here? Oh. Let me respond back to this message. Okay. But yeah, I saw this clip on Mopar Insiders. Man, oh man, where's my phone at? They just crazy. Crazy. I should have grabbed my laptop. That way I can actually see this clearer. See this butt whooping clearer. Because man, it just crazy. I saw this video. I'm like, I just had the question, does Dodge care? I know that's like a little running joke in the forum. Does Dodge cares? But I mean, come on, dude. Like this video clip I just saw on Mopar Insiders. Let me see. Let me pull it up. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, this right here is wild, man. Let me put my ugly face on the screen real quick. Ooh, I grabbed the wrong box. I gotta stop drinking. But yeah, if you guys have seen this little clip right here, this is wild, man. Very freaking wild. They got a Charger Daytona RT face off with a Tesla Model Y on the drag strip. Man, oh man, oh man. It just, oh my goodness. I'm going like, you watch this video and you have to question whether or not Dodge actually benchmarks this car against other cars. Because this right here should not happen. Because I didn't necessarily realize that just the Model Y had worse stats than the actual Charger Daytona. Let me just scroll down to the bottom, right? Here you go right here. And this right here is the Charger Daytona RT Stage 1 versus a Tesla Model Y performance. It's not even the Model 3, not even the car. This is the SUV version, right? So you got the Model Y performance. They got less horsepower, but more torque, a way better 0 to 60 time. Then you got, let's see, the 12.5 seconds quarter mile time to the Charger Daytona 12.8 seconds. 111 miles per hour trap speed, 111 miles per hour trap speed for the Charger Daytona. You got a very big difference in weight. And then you got a very big difference in price. This Model Y performance is like, what, $17,000 cheaper this Model Y performance is. And it just absolutely destroys the Charger Daytona RT in a lot of metrics. And I will tell you guys right here, there is no way in the world this should be possible for a Model Y performance to actually beat an RT Charger Daytona. There is no way possible, because if you looked at all the little reviews and videos and stuff, especially like Rich Rebuilds, he basically asked a Dodge engineer, and Dodge engineer basically told him like, hey, look, you know, there's nothing different between an RT and a Scat Pack other than brakes and suspension, right? You got the same electric motors, you got the same battery pack, everything basically about the same. The only thing that's limiting the power from an RT is basically just software. So basically, if some dealership, I'm guessing, takes an RT and load it with Scat Pack software or whatever, they'll unlock 670 horsepower. But I have to question, what cars did Dodge benchmark these Charger Daytonas against? Because there's no way in the world this should be possible. Because so honestly, I'll play the video. Honestly, there should be no contest on the RT. But this video does expose something, right? That this car is so heavy, it can't get off the line. Let me see. Let me roll it back. Here we go. Yeah, so like if you catch it off the line, this car cannot get off the line good. I think this car is just so heavy, and those little electric motors. Let me just play it back slow. I'm gonna play it back at 25 speed. Let me make sure I mute, because I don't want to hear this crap. Okay, get this crap out of my way. But I think this Charger Daytona is just so heavy, and it has those little electric motors down there. Those little small electric motors in these cars are not powerful enough to get the car off the line. And then once the car, so you see how it's struggling to get off the line right there. And then once the weight gets moving, then like the car is actually starting to gain on the Tesla. That's what I think the problem is with these RTs and the Scat Packs, right? I think the problem is the electric motors in there are just so weak, it cannot get the car off the line. I mean, that is crazy. And honestly, if that is the case, all Dodge had to do was just tune the car to where on the initial launch, it has more horsepower to overcome the fact that the car is heavy, and then just dial it down to the RT level, right? Because technically this Charger Daytona right here in this shot, even though it's limited to like 496 horsepower being an RT model, the car can go up to 670 horsepower, right? So I don't know why not in like power shot mode, right? Instead of 40 extra horsepower, why not in the RT give it maybe 100 extra horsepower to give it more power to get down the track, right? Because you got what power shot for like what I think what 10 seconds, whatever, for full power. So why not in 10 seconds for full power, you give it, instead of 496 horsepower, you give it 600 horsepower, right? It's a little bit less than the Scat Pack. That way it'll lose against a Scat Pack in a race, but why not give it maybe a 50 to 100 horsepower on power shot? That way it can get off the line to beat this Model Y. I mean, that's crazy. Let's play it again in slow motion again. It just struggling to get off the line. Well, yeah, get on the line first. Come on, baby, get on the line. Get on the line. But I think that's why I feel as though this car is very slow to me, because it takes a few seconds for it to catch up, get the weight moving, and then it starts to accelerate. And that's what I felt even in the Scat Pack. It's struggling to get off the line against the Tesla. And it like right there is starting to gain on the Tesla. But then because the car weighs so much weight and the Tesla has way more torque, that Tesla can get down the track faster than the Charger. Because I can start to gain a little bit, but it just cannot overcome the fact that it's slow off the line. And that's why that Tesla has a way better 0 to 60 off the line, right? Because what? Let me scroll down. Yeah. That Model Y Performance got 3.5 seconds 0 to 60 off the line. That's literally the exact same. Hell, that 0 to 60 is only like 0.2 seconds that technically the Scat Pack can do. And that's only a $42,000 car. The Scat Pack is double the price, and theoretically you can get 0.2 better 0 to 60 time in the Scat Pack over a Tesla Model Y Performance. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Like, and I'm telling you, there should be no reason in the world that this RT loses against. And I'm just saying, just the RT. There's no way in the world RT should ever lose against any Model 3 or any Model Y, because all they got to do is dial the power up. So, I mean, I just want to know, what vehicles did Dodge benchmark this car against? Like, that just crazy, man. That is crazy to me. What did they benchmark this against? Like, if this supposed to be a muscle car, what can it beat? I mean, that's my question. What can it beat? Like, I wish it was a Scat Pack, but I don't think you're gonna see too many people buying Scat Packs and gonna take it on the track and get beat up by Tesla. And this is just a Model Y performance. It's not even the Model 3 performance. Model 3 performance is a little bit faster, so it would have been actually worse. And then don't even put in like a base model Model S that's not even a plaid against one of these cars. It's just crazy. But let me see, is there something in here? But yeah, I was looking at this video and I'm going like, I don't think black is. I know people saying, "Oh man, this car looks so good at nighttime." I'm like, does this car look good at nighttime? I'm just saying, I don't think black is that good of a color at nighttime for this car. I'm just saying, like, hold on, let me get myself off the screen. Yeah, I don't think black is this car's color. It looks just like a big old black blob that has, it just has all the lines of the car. So I don't think black is this car's color. Like it doesn't look like typically you got a black car, it looks very aggressive, but I don't know about this case right here. Black ain't its color. Maybe like a lighter color is one thing. Oh good, I got my stuff. Crap. Watch this sucker get embarrassed again.
Why is everyone throwing up? Fine. You need somewhere.
Oh. No way I can actually see this. Oh man. Yeah, as I was saying, the car looks very, yeah. Yeah, those wheels are hideous. I hope there's no EV Charger police cars. Yeah, it'll never catch anybody. A used Tesla would beat that Charger. Yep. Car looks plain as hell. Yep. It looks very plain, man. Very, very plain Jane. It's like a big old black blob from afar. Like, I know I seen somebody said, "Oh man, the car looks way better at nighttime." I'm going like, whoever thought a car that looks good look better at nighttime? Like, I'm just questioning this, right? But it's like just a big old black blob. You can't see no definition in the car. Like somebody just took like the car looks so narrow in the front and then like a big giant blob in the back. And that's what I'm going like, it's kind of like the problem that you have all this cost cutting from Stellantis to where they made this car look like a big bloated two-door car. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, hold on, let me go. What is it? This one right here? Let me go right here. Yeah, it look like a freaking blob. It's narrow in the front, and then it's just huge back here in the back. The proportions don't look right. And this is supposed to be a four-door car masquerading as a two-door car. Let me see. Was there another better shot of this? Oh yeah, here we go. There we go. Let me get myself out of the way. Yeah, it looks like a blob. Like it just, the portions don't look exactly right to me, right? Like this right here is all narrow. Then this right here is all huge. Like it's just huge for no reason. I'm like, it's huge. And like you need to have like a suicide door right there. Stefan's video was terrible. Who's Stefan? Who's Stefan? Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason why this car is so heavy because they designed this car to be a jack of all trades and a master of none, right? The problem is this car is designed to be a two-door, and a four-door. It's designed to have gasoline and ice, or well, gasoline and EV all together in one car. You design a car to have four different things in there that's totally different, then of course this car gonna be bigger than it's supposed to be, right? 'Cause I think one of the reasons why, and I could have sworn I saw the Dodge CEO said this on the podcast, Matt McClure. I think he said that the car is this big because they had to fit a huge battery pack in there just to get these performance numbers, right? So honestly, that just tells me that somebody somewhere was not smart enough to engineer a smaller battery pack to put in this car. And so that's why the proportions of this car is way too big to me. And I'm gonna go, because I need to go do an actual breakdown of that inevitable podcast, but I could have sworn the Dodge CEO said that the only reason why this car is so big because they had to fit the battery pack underneath the car. And this battery pack is huge, and they're like cost cutting and cost saving so much. I would not be surprised if not the battery pack trade, all that stuff is very similar to maybe what you're gonna see in other vehicles and stuff. So that's the problem. The car, it just way too many things and not a master at one, right? It's a jack of all trades and it's not good at any one thing. It's not a good EV. It can get beat by cars at 20 grand cheaper than it. It'll get destroyed by an actual worthy contender in the same price range. And like I said, this RT right here, this RT is a daggone scat pack. It's basically a detuned scat pack. Dodge can easily go do a software update, turn the power up, and get his car more power to go take on that Tesla. That's the thing that turns me off about this whole situation, right? Like this whole stage kit nonsense, they can do away with that whole thing. Do away with the whole stage kit nonsense and just give this car upgrades and horsepower through over-the-air updates. They software lock this car so bad it can't beat anything. And then if anybody just now joining this, you'll see right here in a second. This car is so heavy it cannot get off the line. Now in these RTs and scat packs, they use the exact same motor. They use like a same middle of the pack motor. And that motor is not that good because this car cannot get off the line. So I'm gonna go and slow it down. Let me slow it down to 0.75. That way we can see this. Well, I do 0.5. We'll slow down to 0.5. I'm gonna go and skip up. Here we go. So I gotta slow down, but you can see that this car is going to take a while to get off the line. Hold on. Did I go back too far? I did go back too far. Okay, here we go. So is that what, 146? Okay. So yeah, you're gonna see this car is gonna struggle to get off the line. The Tesla is leaving it off the line. And then once the weight gets in motion, then the car can go forward. And then the car look like it's gonna catch up to the Tesla. But the car does not have enough nuts behind it to actually go push it ahead of the Tesla. So that's what I'm saying. Like this right here is just bad engineering, bad software, because this car, even though it's software locked to 496 horsepower, this car is software locked down from the 670 horsepower from the scat pack. So honestly, if Dodge wanted to, they can go do an over-the-air update right now. Right now, and do an over-the-air update. And they can go and add this car another 100 horsepower overnight if they wanted to. And this right here would never happen again. So that's what I'm saying. Who in the world did Dodge use to benchmark this car against? Because this right here is like an old Tesla Model Y performance that's 20 grand cheaper. So to me, honestly, if you're going to try to sell this car against, you're going to try to make this car be a performer against other cars, it got to be cars at 20 grand cheaper. I'm just saying. And like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if you look down here where it tells you about this, that's why I think this proves my point. This car is not fast. Because look at that 0 to 60 time for the Charger Stage 1. 4.7 seconds. And the crazy part is you can see, just like I was saying, it gets off the line terrible. It's terrible getting off the line against the Tesla. And then you look at the quarter mile time, it actually catches up. But it doesn't have enough power to go and actually walk down the Model Y. And then look at the track speed. Track speed about the same. So it has some acceleration to it, but it's slow getting off the line. And look at the price. $60,000 base compared to $42,000 base. That's $17,000 cheaper. This car cannot be an EV. How long has the Model Y performance been out? Let me Google that real quick. How long has the Model Y performance? Okay, so the Model Y performance has been in production since 2020. So Dodge had literally 4 years to test this Charger Daytona against a 4-year-old EV. Oh my God, man, that's just crazy, man. 4-year-old EV and it can't beat it. I'm gonna put it to the test tomorrow with a Stage 2 Scat Pack Daytona EV. I'll share my findings with you. Oh, what's up, Mod Fame? Yeah, I saw your video. That's why I was like, oh my goodness, it was crazy. But I mean, to me, honestly, Mod Fame, this car should not be this slow. Like, I think that's just bad engineering. Like, they could easily tune this car with an over-air update to give another 100 horsepower. Like, you can basically just trick people, right? You can basically just lie, don't say you never did it. Don't even announce that you're doing this, right? Dodge is gonna do an over-air update, and that power shop button, give it an extra 100 horsepower on the actual RT whenever you push that power shop button. Because, like I said, these RTs and the Scat Packs are the exact same car. The only difference between the two is they basically watered down the RT with cheaper brakes, cheaper suspension, cheaper interior, and that's it. That's it. But all the same motors is the same. The battery pack is exactly the same. Everything's exact same. It's like Dodge basically trying to sell you a Scat Pack, like an actual 392 Scat Pack, and then through the actual driver software, they limited down horsepower to an RT, like the actual 5.7 RT. That's basically what this car is. It's basically a 392 software limited down to a 5.7 Hemi. That's basically what this is. And then, they limited it down so bad that they get beat by 4 or 5-year-old EVs. You gotta give this car more horsepower if it's gonna have a weight penalty. Like, I'm just saying, like, this car weighs, 1,200 pounds more than the Tesla Model Y. So if it weighs that much horsepower, if it weighs that much more than the Tesla Model Y, then why don't you give it more horsepower to basically overcome the weight difference? And like I was showing you guys, man, like you can just see. You can see this car is struggling to get off the line. Like, and there's no way in the world this should even be possible. I'll put it right back there. 145, 146. Like, you can see it. It's struggling. Then now it's starting to gain speed. But you can just look at it and tell it's struggling. And that right there is a quick software fix. Like, honestly, like, there should be no excuse why Dodge does not fix this overnight for a software fix. But hey, Mod of Fame, like, I saw your video and what you were saying that you didn't want to actually test drive the Charger Daytona Scat Pack. And I'll tell you this, if you have respect for Dodge, you won't test drive the Scat Pack EV, because that car feels so slow getting off the line that you will lose all respect for Dodge for calling that car a Scat Pack. That car is so bad getting off the line. I had to come home and drive my Demon 170 so I could feel like I'm driving fast again. That's how bad it is. So that's why I don't believe the whole 3.3 seconds 0 to 60 time in the Scat Pack, because I've had somebody give me a dragging time of like 3.9 in the Scat Pack, and that's just crazy. So I'm just saying, if you have respect for Dodge, go drive a moped before you get into this car. Go drive something slow. Don't go drive your Hellcat. Don't go drive your Red Eye. Shoot, go drive an SXT when you go test drive this car. Go drive an SXT. That way you'll feel like you're in a slow car, and then when you drive this car, get into it, then it'll feel fast. Like, and I'm saying that as I drove 2 Scat Pack Daytonas. Now, I will add a caveat that both of them, I think, has software issues, because the first car I drove, the dealer could not get out a PDI check for like almost 2 weeks. And then when I drove the car, the little Froxon chamber exhaust system, the sucker was like cutting out when we were driving. And all this is on live stream too. So if everybody want to make sure I'm saying what I'm saying is what I'm saying is actually true, I asked the salesman in the live stream, like, hey, you hear that? He like, yeah, I hear that. Like, he heard the exhaust cut off, because that exhaust is so loud and pumped in your ears. As soon as it turned off, you just notice it. And then it like, we're accelerating, next to it turns off, about 1, 2, turn back on. Then I'm going like, huh? They accelerate, turns off, turns back on. I'm like, what the is going on here? And then I punch it, and we just sitting there going like, slow, slow, slow. So okay, cutting it, now it's going. Right? Like, I can 100% believe these cars are slow off the line. Like, I don't know whether or not Dodge programmed these cars to where they're going to go slow off the line initially, that way they don't spin tires and then go up to speed. Or it's just that the electric motors in the car, it's just so weak, it can't move almost 6,000 pounds worth of car that fast from a standstill. And I mean, even like, and I had the car in drag mode. In drag mode, you're supposed to have the most horsepower in drag mode, and it felt slow. I mean, and like, I don't want to be mean about this. I made so many videos about Charger Daytona when it first get released, because that video, when they first showed the EV Day, I like, damn, you gotta have a Charger that's electric, that has like 4-wheel burnout, and they read the patents and stuff. So apparently all that stuff I read was supposed to be on the Banshee. The 2-speed transmission, the burnout, line lock, all that nonsense gonna be on the Banshee. So that'd probably be the car that's gonna be actually decent. But if they don't make that car 1,300 horsepower, it ain't beating the Plaid. If they come out a Charger Daytona Banshee with 1,000 horsepower, it's gonna get destroyed against a Plaid. Like, I'm sorry. Like you see right here, both these cars got literally the same horsepower. That's the bad part. Both the cars, I mean, just look at that, right? Charger Daytona got 50 more horsepower, basically. But the Tesla Model Y Performance got way more torque. And all that torque is getting that car off the line. So Tesla designed these cars to be more torquey than have horsepower. And last time I checked, in heavy duty trucks, those big heavy trucks can get up to speed good because they got a lot of torque to them. So I hope that this next generation, Banshee, whatever, is going to have a different motor in there, because the Charger Daytonas, the Scat Pack and RT, like I said, it has the middle grade electric motor in there. The Banshee is supposed to have a bigger electric motor in there, right? Like these ones right here was 670 divided by 2. What this right here is what the 335 horsepower version motor. The Banshee supposed to have like a 422 horsepower motor. Yeah, so the Banshee supposed to have another bigger motor in there that delivers 100 more horsepower. So that's why the Banshee should have 1,320 horsepower. That's why I made that one video saying that Dodge should make a 1320 electric car, because they actually can. But I'm telling you, like, it's crazy, man. Like, these people are allergic to making lightweight cars. They can't make now one thing lightweight. I mean, this Charter Daytona right here, that sucker is like almost 6,000 pounds. Then you see what the article about the what the Ram Charger. The Ram Charger is almost what 8,000 pounds. Like, was it Motor One even clowned them? Motor One Ram Charger.
Someone is at the front door.
Yeah, like even freaking Motor One. Hold on, there we go. Motor One clowns dodged by this or ran by this. The Ram Charger is heavy as hell, 7,507 pounds. I mean, golly, like hold on, how much weight is the F-150 hybrid? F-150 hybrid. Oh my God, is that true? The F-150 hybrid is 5,517 pounds. Wow. Ford made a hybrid pickup truck about 2,000 pounds lighter than Ram's hybrid pickup truck. That's crazy. That's crazy. Almost 2,000 pounds lighter. Oh, let me see if y'all can see that. Come on. Yeah, F-150 hybrid weight, 5,517 pounds. That is crazy. Wow. I'm telling you, man, these mothers is allergic to weight. And like, I don't like the Ram Charger. I was, let's just say I was talking to somebody, if you're really paying attention, you know who it was. I was talking about, like, I think that Ram Charger gonna be pretty good. But then I'm like, oh my God, this thing weighs so much weight. And then I saw it got pushed back to later on this year. That's what I'm saying. Like, Stellantis is allergic to making lightweight vehicles. That's why I'm going like, do people really think that the six-pack Chargers are going to be lightweight? I think the only thing they're going to do with a six-pack Charger is they're going to make all of them all-wheel drive for the first year. That way they can seem like they're faster because they're going to weigh a lot of weight. So, I mean, could we see, honestly, a six-pack Charger weigh almost 5,000 pounds? I mean, honestly, almost 5,000 pounds. Could you imagine how much weight that car would be? Especially a car that big. Because if you go and look at Charger Daytona in person, that Charger Daytona is like the same wheelbase as a Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Like, how much does a Jeep Grand Cherokee? Oh, you know what? That's probably where I can get the weight from. Okay, the Grand Cherokee L is not bad. It's like 4,700 pounds. Because like I said, yeah, this, so the Grand Cherokee L weighs about 4,700 pounds with four-wheel drive. Which engine in it, though? So, yeah. Oh, with a 3.6 liter, okay. So, yeah. So, yeah, Model Fan, I think you're about right, man. I think by maybe about 4,900 pounds that you're going to basically see the six-pack Charger. Oh, man. Like, no wonder there's going to be 550 horsepower in that car and all-wheel drive standard to help this car out get off the line. The bad news is the new TRX will use the same hybrid system, but with the Hurricane HO, it will be just as heavy. I don't know, man. Well, I know the TRX originally was supposed to be basically a tri-motor Ram Rev, because I remember Michael Vaughn kept dropping a hint, and it just made sense for them to make a tri-motor Ram Rev as a TRX, but TRX with a Hurricane and a battery packs, that's not gonna work. That suspension is gonna be working overtime. There's no way in the world they can make that happen. Could you imagine an almost 8,000 pound TRX with off-road suspension. Yikes, that'd be crazy. You talk about something that's gonna be very risky at rollovers. Oh my goodness, man. The 6-pack Charger is on the SUV platform, so yeah, it's going to come in heavy, more than likely around 4,900 pounds. I mean, well, the platform itself, I don't think is a problem. The main problem I think with this car is that they had to make the car so big because they had to fit a battery pack big enough to get the power out of it, right? So if you think about with the Banshee, I'm pretty sure that car will have over 1,200 horsepower in there, right? But I'm just saying, I don't think they had engineers that was good enough to design a battery pack that was small and condensed like Teslas were, because the Model S Plaid is way smaller than this car right here. And obviously battery pack has to be smaller too. So I don't think these guys knew how to basically design the battery packs to fit within the car properly. And that's why they blew it out. Because I could have sworn, I remember on that daggone podcast, Matt McClure said it. He said that the car is that big because it had to fit the battery pack on there. I need to see if I can find that. I'm pretty sure he said that. Man, I need to watch it over again. I forgot it is like over like an hour and a half, but because the one podcast I did about Tim Knizzes, I always put the clip in there with him and some other guys in there. I got timestamps. I need to timestamp this one. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Passport? Did you see the Charger EV versus Model Y performance? Yeah, I got it right here. I got it right here, man. They talking about the Mopar insiders, man. Oh, and 300. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I would not bank too hard on being able to tune these Hurricane engines. I'm just saying, because there's supposed to be either a 700 to 800 horsepower version of the Banshee, not Banshee, but of the Hurricane engine coming. The problem is they can't get the daggone blocks to survive 700 to 800 horsepower. So from what I've been told is they're having to switch the block over from aluminum to iron because the blocks won't survive durability tests. So when you see a SRT Hurricane with 700 horsepower, the car gonna be even heavier because the blocks gonna be made of iron and not aluminum. So if that's a problem right there, you got a 550 horsepower engine that can't survive up to 700. How much is the reliability gonna be looking, player? So you maybe another 100 out there, 550, 650. So yeah, maybe 650. But after that, it might be pop goes the weasel. And then you also got to remember also as well too, they're going to put the cheaper transmissions in those cars that can't survive over 550 horsepower. So how much longer you going to play with Russian roulette with a weak transmission in there? Then I'm going to put the transmissions in there from the Hellcats in there. They're going to put the transmissions in there from like the regular Ram 1500, the regular Wranglers and stuff. They're going to put that 8 HP 7.5 transmission in there. So you add that fact with a cheap transmission, then you can add the fact that they can't make a reliable I can't remember if it was 700 or 800 horsepower Hurricane. It's either one of those two they cannot get to survive, and so they have to move over to iron block, which why you haven't really seen them like with a Category X engine. That's why you haven't really seen anything about that, because they got to change the block around, so they got to retool and redo all that crap to get us to survive and stuff. So as I'm just saying, man, I don't think this is going to be a very good time period for Dodge over the next year or two. And honestly, if they don't bring the Hemi back, I honestly think they're done. Because word around the campfire is that now Ford will come out with a GT500, and then also they're gonna come out with a 4-door Mustang. So I'm just saying, man, like V8 Mustangs, 2 doors or 4 doors, and Ford dropped the price down some. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I love my dog Tim Knisses. I love Matt McCleary because if it wasn't for them guys, I wouldn't got a Demon 170. But this new next gen Charger, I don't think it's it, man. I don't think it's it. And the 6-pack cars, I don't think that much help for it. But yeah, but like I said, you can tell right there, this car just struggling to get off the line. Like even if it was, a driver with slow reaction time, you can just still see this car just slow get off the line. That Tesla just instantly launched, and that's where you see that extra 100 foot-pound of torque came in at, and actually helped get that thing in there. And a passport, bro. Like I literally saw another dude's video. He bought an RT. And he says in the video that the dealership called him and told him that if he opens the passenger door up too many times, it could brick the car. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. The dude literally said that's what the dealership called him back. So apparently, if you don't get the update done, because they got a new update. Let me show you guys. They got a brand new update for the Charter. And you had to get this update done or your car will brick. Very easily. Let me see. I posted in the group. Let me go into my little private little group. Yeah. So, hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna pull it up right here. I'm gonna let y'all see it in a better way. Oh, can I pull it right here? Yeah, here we go. There we go. Yeah, I'll show y'all guys this. This right here, nobody's seen. But yeah. Hold on, let me get my ugly face out of here. But you can see they got this brand new update right here. I'll put myself over here out of the screen. But yeah, you can see right here. High voltage battery damage. High voltage battery main contactor partial or full weld. How opening any door before opening the driver's door and cycling the car could actually cause the car to brick. That's how crazy this stuff is with this daggone car, right? And this is something that like somebody shared with me, and this is an actual Stellantis document, and this applies to the 2024 Charter Daytona, the 2025, and the Jeep Wagoneer S battery electric vehicle. And so some people are gonna see either a wrench light on the dash. If weld, the vehicle won't start, and if you don't know what in the world a weld is. A weld is basically a situation where the high voltage contactor, I had to watch an hour-long video to kind of understand this, wrap my brain around it, because I'm about to make a video on this. But basically, there is a high voltage relay in the battery pack to send power to the batteries or not from the batteries, or basically electric motor, right? And so apparently, if you open the passenger door or the trunk or the front too many times before opening the driver's door. You gotta open the driver's door first for some odd reason. If you open the daggone passenger door too many times, it could brick the car and cause the relays in the battery pack to weld either open or shut. If the daggone thing, I think if it welds shut, then the car won't shift out of park. If it welds open, then it won't shift back into park. If it does a partial weld, well, basically that the relay gate, because in a relay you have a gate that opens and closes to allow electricity to go through. If it partially welds, then sometimes the car will cut on, sometimes it won't cut on. Sometimes it'll go out of park, sometimes it will go into park until it eventually fails. So, like I said, this document right here, I haven't shared with nobody. I don't think nobody's really seen this yet. So I did share this with one publication, so I seen they haven't did anything with it yet. But Yeah, so basically they have these RSUs. So basically an RSU is a rapid service update or something like that. So basically they're trying their best to come up with all these new terms to not call it a recall. But it's basically is a recall of every single charter Daytona. Every single charter Daytona is having a recall for software issues. So every single car, and they have it right here, 2,457 VINs. They had to go and actually do this repair. And you see right here, I'm not BSing it. It says right here, always open the driver door first. And if you turn the car on and off too many times, it will brick the car. So that's what it says right there. Don't move or touch the vehicle unless necessary. I mean, I'm just saying, man, like, oh my goodness. So that's what I'm saying. You see right there, if well, the vehicle won't start and the message will display. But like, let me go ahead and go down here. But yeah, so this is where they got the locations of all the cars at basically, and they're getting, so all the ones that's incomplete is all the cars they still have to actually go and apply the update to. And all these right here are the ones they actually applied the update to that they have tracked. So that's where you see the actual number of total units that they made so far. And so this right here is basically all the shipping status codes. So basically the car shipped, I think shipped for delay. I forgot all these codes. I used to know all of them a few years ago, but basically different stages of shipping. So that's why they got all these cars tracked to where they're at. They're in transit still. Some of them are ahead of a rail yards. Some of them still on trains. Some of them might be at one of their little spots, maybe sitting at another plant. Because sometimes when they have cars coming in from like Windsor, they go sit it over there at Shap or one of the other plants temporarily until a train comes and then load it up then and there. Or they might send out to another rail location or whatever. So sometimes that's what some of these codes are. And then down here is basically like all the cars that have sold. So you see right here, they still have not sold 1,000 cars, pretty much, that they've made out of that, 2,400. And then let's see, they had what, 11 retail sales. So basically 11 people bought these cars. 26 people leased these cars. 2 of them are business leases. So basically a business leased these cars. 54 of them are dealership demos. So that's where a majority of these cars went to for demonstrations. And 11 of them is stock transfers. So basically a dealership sold to another dealership in order to get it off their basically off their what was that, floor plan, right? So dealerships do that crap all the time, a little stock transfer, because they done that with D170s, right? Because like, let's say a dealership has like maybe like 15 Hornets. They might take 10 Hornets, package it with a D170 and go trade it to another dealership to get rid of all those Hornets. So they do all that stock transfer crap all the time. But I can tell you what they benchmarked these against, the outgoing Hemi models. That's what they did. Yeah. But I mean, the problem is with this Diablo, the old models were getting destroyed by Teslas. They didn't make an old EV. So I'm going like, you need to go benchmark yourself against competitors that you're going to be in the market with. But yeah, this right here was pretty freaking interesting. I got this document from somebody within Stellantis, and they having to do basically a recall. Like, this is one video that I've been meaning to make. They had to repair literally every single car. And this car is so crazy. You cannot open any door before the actual driver door. Or you could brick the car. Or if you turn the car on and off too many times, you can brick the car. So that's one document. Where's the other one I got at? Here we go. So yeah, I got all the documents. That's why I like having friends in all the right places and stuff. So, and like this is the update that you got to do to the actual charter Daytona. So, and you can see the date on it. February 15, 2025. So this is like brand new within like a week. So this right here is right after Valentine's Day. They did this update. because so many of these cars are having so many problems that techs were bricking these daggone cars. So that's why I'll tell you guys how these dealerships around me had like 7 bad cars and they took like weeks to get them fixed. This is part of the issue why, because they kept bricking them. So as you can see right here. Now this right here is very serious right here. If you know what a park Paul motor is, I actually had to research this because I didn't know. I like, what the freak is that? So apparently this park Paul motor is basically like this little magnet. It's like a rod that goes in and out of the electric motors to basically put the car in park, right? So it stops the car from rolling. So basically if this park Paul motor is stuck closed, then you can't shift the car out of park. If that park Paul motor is stuck open, then your car is gonna be rolling. It's never gonna go in the park. It won't shift in the park because that little pin or whatever is not gonna actually engage in the electric motor and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I actually had this like last week and I was researching this because I'm going like, I had to learn a lot of this stuff because I'm not an EV person. So I had to learn what a park Paul motor is. I had to learn what a contactor is, the MCP. That's basically the little controller that, you know, sends power off to the wheels and stuff. So I think this is one on the front. I can't remember if the MCPA was the actual EDM on the front or the rear axle. But these are some of the issues that these cars are having, right? The vehicle will not shift out of park. That's because that park Paul motor is either stuck open or closed. You get reduced power, which is probably another issue right there. That I mean, I don't know one of the cars I was driving had this issue because they could not get off the line quick. Maybe a lot of these cars are having this issue and they can't get a line because of this part right here. Then you have a turtle icon or you have a wrench icon. So let's see. Here we go. There's another thing that was interesting. All right. Yeah, here we go right here. Yeah, so basically this right here I found very interesting, right? So which one was it? Yeah, the vehicle must not be connected to the high voltage charger when performing software updates. So basically, you cannot plug this car in to the actual, to a wall charger or like one of those, free to charge stations. You got to basically not have it plugged in, right? But what you do have to do is on the 12-volt battery, you must make sure the 12-volt battery is connected up to a battery charger. So you gotta, let's see, the remote battery post under the hood may be used to connect the 12-volt battery charger to eliminate the need to remove the battery. You got to also give a battery charger that is big enough to support 60 amps while the car is flashing. If the flash process is interrupted or aborted, the flash needs to be restarted. Like, it's crazy. And then look here. To lower the risk of failure of models prior to the flash upgrade, do not open the trunk, the front, or the passenger door without first opening the driver door to perform this repair. Like, I've never heard that you gotta open a certain door in a car. Oh, they call me 8 o'clock at night. But I've never heard that you had to open up a certain door in order to fix a car. And then it say right there, minimize on-site vehicle movements and engine cycles where possible before performing the repair procedure. Oh yeah, I saw this one here too. If the vehicle has recently been driven or on a test drive, for example, the vehicle needs to sit and cool down for at least 1 hour before performing this upgrade. Failure to allow the vehicle to cool down may result in substantial consequential damage to occur. Pulling the vehicle into the bay does not justify the vehicle. Pull the vehicle does not justify the 1 hour cooldown. Okay, yeah, but like, yeah, you gotta do a lot of stuff just to get the car set up Like, and like I said, this right here is paperwork that you that Dodge just hates that I keep finding. And then the next thing is they gotta unplug the actual cooling fan in the car so it doesn't turn on when they're doing the upgrade, because apparently the cooling fan been turning on, bricking people's cars. So they gotta unplug it doing the upgrade, which is hilarious. And then once they do the update, they got to basically put the car to sleep. So they got to close everything. They close all the doors, trunks, all that stuff. Let the car go to sleep about 6-7 minutes. And then the update should be done. And then once all that is done, I think that's on the next page. I think it's on the last page right here. Once all that is done, they got a car out of sleep mode. Yeah, then they got to do this this wheel end disconnect position learn routine. So basically what that is, the wheel end disconnect position learn routine is basically when they have those drive modes for like let's say donut mode, and they turn the front axle off. They need to program the car in order to relearn to disconnect the front axle so you can do donut mode. So that's basically what that is for. But yeah, I found this very, very, very interesting when I got these documents. I actually got it like last Friday or Saturday. Yeah, so I've been sitting on the last few days because I've been trying to research this whole nonsense. I'm like, oh my goodness, man, like this is just crazy. But I mean, I had such high hopes for this car, but I mean, it is going down in flames. That's Tavares. There we go. But yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, just saying, man. Let's see. Dodge does not belong in the EV business. They should have followed Toyota's recipe of small four-cylinder motors and hybrid systems to offset the Hemi cars. Then redesign the 5.7 for higher trims. Imagine a 5.7 naturally aspirated with direct connection or direct injection 450 horsepower than a 5.7. Dang, dude, like you speaking my language. That's literally the same thing I said in videos. They should have took the 5.7, redesigned it, because there's no way in the world anyone can tell me that if Ford can make 500 horsepower out of a 5-liter Coyote, that Dodge can make 500 horsepower or 550 horsepower out of 5.7 liters out of a 5.7 Hemi. And then, like you said, throw on. I mean, hell, you can basically just throw on a turbo, and that's your Hellcat, and then twin turbo, and that's basically your freaking your Demon, and be done with it. Yeah, I got another video. I'm actually gonna film it tonight for tomorrow, with basically the same premise. So I basically got the same idea for a video. It's gonna come out tomorrow, and I'm gonna take it a little bit. I'm gonna just tweak it a little bit, right? Something they can do is right now. It's not gonna really cost them anything. They can do right spanking now with parts that they already have. So that's gonna come out tomorrow. I wasn't gonna film it today, but I actually had to go to work because I'm gonna go to what was that, Mopar Heaven in about 3 weeks. So I got to save up some cash to go down to freaking Texas from North Carolina. So, but yeah, hey, man, y'all the first people to see this document right here, because I've not shown the document to really anybody other than a couple of people behind the scenes. But yeah, all these Charter Daytonas are now in an active recall, and now I know exactly. And like I said, this was what this document had to come out right around the same time the other TSB came out. So these numbers right here, especially the sales numbers, have to be up to date. They have to be up to date. So that's crazy. They're talking about only 11 people bought the car and 26 were leases. So basically you only had 36 sales. Well, if you count the business lease, you so basically only had 38 sales out of like 1,061 cars. And then you got the other cars that are like in transit. That's crazy. Like, I don't know, man. Like, they in trouble. But yeah, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I was like, man, because I'm asking Dodge to send me an actual Scat Pack, because I actually want to test to see how fast it is compared to actual other cars. Because I mean, I don't see nobody, test driving one against a Hell. Like they try to make it seem as though it'll be the Hellcat, it'll beat Red Eye, whatever. But these cars, I don't know if these cars even beat Scat Packs, honestly. Because the ones I driven, like I said, they felt like they were slow. I mean, that's honestly how I felt how the car was. But I'm gonna keep asking Dodge because I just sent the dude a message today. But hey, y'all still having them? Because I'm going like the one I drove felt slow, and it had software issues, man. But they probably won't do it now that I revealed this document, because they don't like when I reveal documents like this, because like apparently from what I heard that Dodge was pissed off with me last year for leaking the actual $80,000 price tag of the Charter Daytona before I think maybe like a month or two before they actually revealed it themselves. So they got pissed off that I did that. And I think that's why I got uninvited from the actual media event from when they all went down to was it Arizona, like Racer X, Ratty's Rides, Demonology, Rich Rebuilds, Out of Spec, Throttle House, Straight Pipes, all those guys. I was supposed to go to that to actually test drive this car, because I actually got invited by Dodge to go do that. But between then and that invite, I kind of pissed them off by revealing too much stuff about the actual EV. So I guess I'm definitely not gonna get a review unit from Dodge now, revealing more information about this car. So I know we got like a love-hate relationship that I love them, but sometimes they hate me. Oh man, but I mean, honestly, I should be an advisor, man. Like honestly, they should only be. I would have never told them put Scat Pack and RT on these cars. Like, these are not Scat Pack and RT numbers. I'm just saying, man. I'm going to get rid of that one. Yeah, that one. I mean, that is just slow, man. Just freaking slow. I want to go back to see how slow this thing is. Let me get my show. Oh, moving the wrong thing. I keep clicking the wrong thing. Let's see how slow this thing is in slow motion. I'm saying, man, it just like you can just see the tires just starting. Oh, the little EV that could. Hey, you know what? That's a good name for this car. The little EV that could. Oh man, y'all better not repeat that one. Don't call this the little EV that could. Oh man, I definitely gonna get banned from Dodge now. The little EV that could. Oh man. But I'm sorry, man. I love Dodge. Dodge, this was your pinnacle right here. And even though my demon is broke, I still love my demon. I thank you guys for the gift, Dodge. In case y'all watch this live stream, I really do appreciate the gift you guys got me for, doing what I do to help people out in the background. Because as I said in the videos and stuff, I help a lot of people out in the background that none of you guys ever know about. I pretty much I talk in the background to so many people that you guys know that people don't know that I actually talk to in the background. So that's why a lot of people don't really say anything bad about me in their videos and stuff, because I'm real cool with a lot of people in there. But yeah, man, I had such high hopes for this car. Like I was hoping this car would have been great, because I'm like, I want an EV2 for a daily driver, but I can't beat anything in this. I can't beat nothing in this car. Like I can't line up against a Tesla and go beat a Tesla. I mean, if you're gonna grab an EV, you gotta grab an EV that's actually gonna beat stuff. And like I said on the live stream, I did the exact same thing on the live stream. The second time I went and test drove the Charter Daytona, I left the dealership and I went over to the GMC lot and I test drove a Hummer EV. And I was way more impressed with the performance of the Hummer EV than I was of the Charter Daytona. And I mean, like, if I had to buy one or the other, I would buy the Hummer EV over this car. Like that Hummer EV was just so daggone nice. The interior was nice, and even though that's like a 4 or 5 year old EV, that's how bad it is. It's a 4 or 5 year old EV, and it's still better than this car right here. Like for the money for a Hummer EV, you're getting a lot more bang for your butt. Bang for your buck, right? Because the only thing about a Hummer EV that's missing is a heads-up display. Other than that, that Hummer EV is superior to this car in every single way. You got real wheel steering, so you got a very tight, turn diameter. You got more range. You got a very imposing looking truck. You got an actual front that you can use, a trunk that you can use. You got the mid gate. You got 4 doors. I mean, heck, then you got like haptic feedback in the chair, because the chair daggone vibrates your butt and stuff when you're doing stuff. Then you have Super Cruise, so the thing will drive itself on the highway. Can't do that in this car. So I mean, the bang for your buck is a Hummer EV, and a Hummer EV, the 0 to 60, personally, I think is faster than this car. Like, I mean, if I had an extra couple $1,000s a month, I would go and actually lease a Hummer EV and lease this car and benchmark both these cars against one another and then turn the lease in. Oh man, that'd be interesting. Like, hold on, a Hummer EV. Let me see, a Hummer EV quarter mile. Oh, here we go. Hummer EV tested, quarter mile, 0 to 60 tested. And the Hummer EV is like 9,000 pounds. That's the bad part. I felt I like that way better. Let's see. Okay. 0 to 60 in the Hummer EV at 9,000 pounds is like 3 seconds. The quarter mile time is 11.7 seconds. I mean, I'm pretty sure that is the exact same time. Quarter mile time. Scat Pack. Charter Daytona. Yeah, so 11.5 seconds. So technically, the Hummer EV is only 0.7 seconds slower. No, 0.2 seconds slower in a quarter mile than the Scat Pack Charter Daytona, and has a faster 0 to 60 time. Granted, it costs more money because I think it's like what I don't even think a Hummer EV even costs that much more money if you get a base one. Let me go see a Hummer EV. No, Hummer EV. Oh man, like, I don't know. Let's see, building price. Okay. Oh, okay. So is that the truck? Oh, yeah. Well, hold on. So I don't know where was the one I driving was like that much. It must have did like some money off on that one. I could have sworn the Hummer EV I drove was like they must have had it marked down to the 90s, whatever. But I mean, yeah, it's only like 10 grand more expensive than like the Charter Daytona EV. Because I think the one I saw was right at like 98, 99, something like that. Hummer EV tri-motor, was it 1,000 horsepower or whatever? But it's like 10 grand more than the actual Scat Pack EV. But I'm like, oh my God, this thing is way more funner. Like, you're driving in a huge vehicle that's supposed to be huge. You drive this car right here, it's like huge for a car that doesn't make no sense. So I'm like, man, like, come on, dude. Like I'm telling you, man, like Dodge kind of screwed the pooch. And I think it's mainly because Tavares just let them just throw something in the car and be done with it. Like, there's no way anyone could tell me that this is a Dodge. Like, just look how bad it is, man. Like you can see how the wheels. You see how slow the wheels are turning. You can see the wheels are turning real slow, and then next thing you know, then it start going fast. That Tesla up top up there, no wheels are turning fast as soon as he hit the gas. So that Tesla hit the gas, he's moving fast. Them wheels are there turning very slow on that Charger. Man, dude, this is a dud. As I'm going, like, man, like those 6-pack cars, they better be hitting. I'm just saying, man, those 6-pack Chargers, they better be hitting, because if those 6-pack Chargers ain't hitting, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, like, oh man, like, And the sad part is Mustang should have been better. Like Ford should have saw the writing on the wall and just snatched up a bunch of Dodge customers. They should have just lowered the price down on the actual Ford Mustang to bring in people, like to scoop up all the Dodge customers. Like there should not be a Ford Mustang on the lot right now, but they jacked the prices up on them damn things because, like honestly, who's gonna pay $60,000 for a 500 horsepower car? So I mean, I'm just saying, man. Like, and then even the 6-pack cars, those cars are gonna be 550 horsepower, but they're gonna be over $60,000, right? Because the cheapest high output Hurricane that you can get right now from Stellantis is $70,000 Ram RHO. That's the cheapest vehicle you can get with high output. So I figure if you take at least $5-6 grand off of there, I fully believe that a base model Charger Daytona with a high output motor, 550 horsepower, gonna be about $65,000, and it makes sense because a base model Ford Mustang Dark Horse with 500 horsepower is $62,000. That's the base Mustang. So there's no way in the world I see Dodge gonna price the Charger Daytona lower than the Mustang, and it's a bigger car, got more horsepower, and the EVs are failing. So they gotta pump the cost up some in order to get profit back from these EVs not selling, right? Because that's crazy as crap. If that was the case on that other slide I showed you guys, that they only sold maybe like 20 or 30 cars, like that makes TK's numbers seem even worse, because TK said they've sold 100. They might have sold even 30. Like that's crazy, man. Dodge had to sell the EV. It won't be profitable. The Hemi is coming back, but Dodge had to put out the twin turbo Hurricane. The Pentastar engine is going away. It's all about emissions. Honestly, I don't even believe the emissions nonsense, because Ford found a way to do it. And honestly, if Dodge, well, I'm not even say Dodge, if Stellantis wanted to basically make Dodge successful, they would have basically just said, hey, look, we're only going to give Dodge a single rear wheel motor car to sell in bulk, like the actual Mustang Mach-E. They could have been did that. Like, and what I think later on this year they're gonna make a rear wheel drive only Charger Daytona that has one motor in the back, right? So it might be like a 300-400 horsepower single rear motor rear wheel drive car. It will be a budget version. They could have launched that first. Instead they launched this right here, and it gets embarrassed by everything, right? So Ford, like if you go and look on Ford's website, the cheapest Mach-E is like almost 40 grand. That's like literally half of what Dodge did with this car right here. So I mean, like they could have did this all differently, right? And I already know from looking at, like, I don't even believe the emissions nonsense. The emissions nonsense is a lie, because if you go look at their financials from their SEC filings, that is a lie. They launched this EV nonsense first because Carlos Tavares had in his contract a little nest egg where he got a bonus of $25 million if he has so many EVs in the American market. And he had to reach that deadline before December 31st of this year. So that's why that dude pushed these EVs before the actual gasoline cars, because he needed EVs in the market in America. He needed these cars in America, right? So that's why he tried to push these cars last year, because all these EVs supposed to come out last summer. The Charger Daytona was to launch around June. The Wagoneer S supposed to launch around September, October, and the Ram Rev was supposed to launch around December of last year. Once Carlos Tavares gets gone, because the whole brand is tanking around him, the whole company is tanking. Now all of a sudden, you know, they canceled the Ram Rev, the actual long range version. The other Ram Rev with the smaller battery pack, that's pushed even further again today. The Ram Charger got pushed again today. The Charger Daytona and the actual the Charger Daytona, and where did I leave that picture up? And then, like I said, here you go right here. These Chargers all launched, every single one of them, because someone told me, I'm not gonna say exactly who, but someone told me that all these EVs that were supposed to be launched, the Charger and the Wagoneer S, all of them was gonna launch with a recall on them. Now I didn't say anything because he didn't want me to say anything about it, but now I actually had the proof right here. That's undeniable now that every one of these cars launched with a recall, because they had to get them out because they needed the actual emissions credits to go pay for the D170s. Offset the emissions credits for that, right? So yeah, they had to go sell EVs, but that emissions nonsense is a lie, because they were still making money. All they had to do was basically cut out one of the V8s. Either cut out the 5.7 or the 392, cut one of them out. And that would have saved them at least, what, $20-30 million in fines right there. Just limit down the amount of Hellcats that you made, because they made, what, in last call, what, almost 8,000 Hellcats and like, what, 3,000 Red Eyes Super Stocks and in the Challenger and the Charger. Then they made a bunch of TRXs. I mean, all they had to do was limit down the Hemis, just limit them down, and that would have made the values of all the cars higher. But like I said, the problem is Tavares, he basically had in his contract a $25 million nest egg. He had to meet certain incentives before December 31st of this year, 2025. Where's that graph at? Oh, it was right there. No. Yeah. So right here in Tavares' contract, and this is SEC filing, so this is public knowledge right here. So right here, between 2023 and 2025, he had to meet these metrics right here. And so he had to meet electrification of nameplates. So he had to meet this metric right here in order to get a part of his payout for $25 million. So the relative total shareholder return, that was a whole profit nonsense that they did where they buying back stocks and they were basically doing all that payout stuff. That was part of his metric for 2023 to 2025. Then he had this operating income over a 3-year period. That was basically him laying off all these damn people off and replacing all these engineers with low-cost engineers, because he basically fired all the engineers that's working on these cars and then replaced them with engineers from countries that don't even have self-driving cars, right? Like, he basically went and fired like hundreds of people that made like $150,000 a year and replaced them with Indian workers who basically made like, I don't know, $30,000-40,000 a damn year. And then I got people who work for the UAW and who work for Unifor telling me that the plants, all the production plants, are just filled with Indians from overseas trying to work on these production lines to get stuff up and running, but they don't know what they're doing. So that's why you see a lot of issues with these cars, because you got all these people coming in that don't necessarily know how to work on these vehicles. Like, there was an article that came out to where when Stellantis fired all their engineers and stuff and try to offset off all the self-driving stuff to India, they had to rehire engineers from, I think, like Europe, like from Paris. And then they go fly them over to India. They go teach the Indians how to work on a self-driving system. And then fire the people from Paris again to let the Indians work on the self-driving system. So they was hiring people from like, what did the article say? It was from Morocco, Brazil, and India. So they hired engineers from those three places that didn't necessarily had to go and they do all that nonsense, right? So there's a lot of stuff in his contract. If you wonder why Stellantis is as bad as it is, his contract is why the company is doing bad. All his nonsense he was doing, firing people, jacking up prices because he wanted to jack prices up. That way he could sell less quantity of vehicles. That way he had to have less employees because he had higher profit margins. That means if they're selling less cars but higher profit, that means there's not a lot of UAW people at work. And then you had a situation where like they were doing stuff like going to lower cost suppliers using lower quality parts. And then there's another slide somewhere I had. Well, I'll find it later because I got it in different spots. But there's another slide I had where he had like another metric where quality was reduced every year he was CEO against his CEO pay, right? So in 1 year, it might have been like part of his compensation was like 30% for quality, right? So if you had quality issues, failure, stuff like that, it counted like 30% on a weighted metric. And then I think in the last year, it only counted like maybe 15%, something like that. Let me go find it. It's on. I know I got it in video somewhere, but like, you're right, all those in the contract, but that doesn't mean the missions were alive. Think about Dodge had no other reasons. Think about the money Dodge had to pay. Two things can happen. Yeah, but okay, Gain. Okay. So to me, honestly, if Dodge want to get over the emissions fines issue, they could have simply just removed certain engines from the lineup, right? All they had to do was basically make a budget EV. That's all they had to do. Just make a $30,000-$40,000 EV charger, one rear motor in there, 300-something horsepower, and that's it. That's it. And the funny part about that is, now that car with one rear motor is gonna come out later this year, because they know that no one's buying these $60,000, $80,000 cars. So now all of a sudden they're gonna make the cheaper car accelerated because no one's buying the more expensive car, which should have been the priority all along in the first place. They should have made a $30,000 cheap car, simple, no all-wheel drive nonsense. There's a rear-wheel drive car because people don't necessarily need an all-wheel drive electric car all over the country. I mean, majority of the country does not snow. It doesn't snow in the southeast like that, right? We might get a snow day. Hell, it snowed here like 2 days in the last 5 years where I live at. So I don't need an all-wheel drive car, right? I mean, hell, all they had to do was just make a 350 horsepower rear-wheel drive charger, basic interior, cloth seats. Hey, look, we're making budget EVs because we need to keep the actual other vehicles that you like around. And that's basically what Ford said. Ford literally said to a couple publications, right, the actual Mach-E allows us to keep the V8 in the Mustang. That's what Ford said. So honestly, to me, it's supposed to be monkey see, monkey do. If it's working for Ford, then it should work for you, right? So they could have easily, made more. They could have made more of an effort. They could have easily just dropped either 5.7 or 392 out of the lineup. And I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't have Hurricanes. They could have dropped. They could have literally just dropped the 392, kept the 5.7, be done with it, right? If you want a V8, you get your nice little cruiser V8, nice, cool, clean cruiser, whatever, and a new body. They could just did that, right? You didn't necessarily even need to have a standard output Hurricane and a high output Hurricane. And like the emissions thing, okay, yeah, they got emissions problem, but these people did not even attempt to even upgrade the Hemis at all. Period. They could have been upgraded these Hemis, but they didn't choose to do so. That's why emissions is a problem now, because they upgraded the Pentastar at least what 2 times in the last like 5-6 years to meet emissions, because the Pentastar is in a lot of vehicles. Well, the 5.7 in a lot of vehicles too, but they never updated the 5.7 over the past 10 years. So they could have been took a 5.7, just like they did with the Hurricanes, took a 5.7 direct injection, same little nonsense Ford did with the 2 little the 2 intakes and the actual, what was that? They put like charcoal or something in the actual intake, and they used 2 intakes because they got so much charcoal packed in there to help emissions out, right? So they could do the same thing that Ford did. They saw Ford doing everything they can to make the emissions cleaned up, and then even then, Ford got around not having a supercharger on their car. So they could have still made supercharged Hemis. They could do the exact same thing Ford did, right? They could have took a 6.2 Hemi, take the blower off of it, put the 6.4 Hemi's regular natural aspirated top on there, sold we'll just say that they'll just sell a scat pack now with 450 horsepower, right? With a 6.2 Hemi in there. No more 392. 392 gone, right? And then what you can do is you can go to direct connection. I shouldn't even talk about this because this is my video tomorrow. They go direct connection. You right there at your dealer, like, hey, look, do you want a $4,000 Hellcat blower, a $8,000 Red Eye blower, or do you want a $10,000 D170 blower? And you go direct connection, pick what blower you want, put it on your car, and that's an aftermarket accessory. Bam, there you go. You got this new next gen charger with either 700 horsepower, 800 horsepower, or maybe 900 horsepower with the other blower on there. Could have been done. Easy, simple, right? Because Dodge basically did the exact same thing with these stage kits, right? All these EVs with the stage kits, these suckers are literally 700 horsepower cars detuned down to like different levels, right? It's just nonsense. The Hornet costs more than that. The new Fonda E is pricey too. I mean, hell, the one bad thing about a Hornet is, did you guys know that the Hornet weighs literally within 100 pounds of my Demon 170? That's how heavy the Hornet is. The Hornet is heavy. I remember when Dodge let me hold one for review. I looked at the actual curve weight and stuff. It's like 100-pound difference between a Hornet and a Demon 170. That's why the Hornet's not fast. It's way too heavy. I'm telling you, like, these people are so allergic to making lightweight vehicles. It's laughable. So that's what I'm going, like, man, like, they're going to have to go and actually try to design a car that does not have EV drivetrain. Like, get some other engineer in there that can make lightweight vehicles, because this ain't it. Oh, man. But yeah, I did see a Hornet on the dealership, right? So they had like a Hornet GT. I think it was like $49,000. And then it was something crazy. I think it was like either $49,000 or $50,000 for a Hornet GT. And then the hybrid Hornet that was more faster was actually $2,000 cheaper than the GT was. I go like, what the like, y'all pricing don't make no sense. But then even a Hornet doesn't make any sense, because a Hornet is the exact same vehicle as a Jeep Compass. A Hornet and a Jeep Compass is the exact same vehicle. They got literally the exact same dimensions, the exact same fuel tank capacity on there. They're just the Compass has better range on it because the engine's not as hot tuned. But oh man, I need to get an offer and make sure my son is fed and stuff. But yeah, man, like I do got video coming out tomorrow. Talk about this whole thing with them coming out with a 6.2. What's the other one I got coming out? There's another one I got coming out too tomorrow. I'm gonna try to double up, do 2 videos tomorrow. I gotta try to knock some videos out because my birthday is actually Friday. So I'm trying to knock out a few videos. That way I ain't gotta do no videos on Friday. Try to get ahead. But my birthday is the last day of February every year except for election day. But I'm gonna go and get up out of here and see what my son is doing. Make sure he's actually fed. But I'll see you boys later. And hey, you late? Just rewind back. I've been here for a while. I've been here for like an hour and a half. So I'll holler at your boys later. And until the next time, I'm out, players.